You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good, and we have good in abundance today. An amazing, beautiful, touching show that is going to enable you to transform whatever you're doing and become more good in the world, do more good in the world, be more good in the world, and the world certainly needs more good at this particular time. And you have tuned in consciously and conscientiously to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, and everything you want to know about our amazing guest today. And there's lots to know. All you have to do is go to the website, www.barryshore.com. You don't have to write anything down. Don't have to remember everything. Just lean in and let all this goodness flow through you, around you, and help transform you and bring you to the place you want to be. Remember, the reason you tuned in is the best reason in the world. It's the only reason in the world you tuned in, only because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U. And that's great, because when you're the best you possible, you make the world a better place. You build bridges, you create more harmony, you create more joy, happiness, peace, and love by being the best you. And when that happens, you become happier, healthier, and wealthier. And who doesn't want that? Happier, healthier, wealthier, guarantee it. I guarantee, or your money back. How you like that? Now, you are joined at this very moment, by the way, by 348,613 people around the world. All have tuned in to the joy of living just because you want to become the best you and make the world a better place. And we thank you for that. Now, in this show, as you know, we work with the three fundamentals of life, and they are, number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. Now, this is a good number two. Number two happens, which is you go mad. Now, mad in this case stands for make a difference. Go learn to lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world for the good. And number three fundamental of life is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example, WWW. Right now, this show is being carried throughout the entire world, but hundreds of thousands of people all over the world through this magical, mystical, mythical platform called the internet. So if you ask anybody, what does WWW stand for? Invariably, they'll tell you it has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? W-H-A-T-A. What a wonderful world. And of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And whenever you hear the opening bars of what a wonderful world, what do you do right away? You can't help it. You smile because it's so touching. Now, smile is one of the most important words that you can ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile is an acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you, before COVID, and thank God we're going to be through this thing soon, you'll be able to walk around, no mask, and no, the masquerade is over, and we'll be feeling good again and hugging people and such. But before all that, just prior, I was speaking to a group in person, 5,120 people in the audience. And I was telling the story about Barry Shore, and I mentioned smile, seeing miracles in life every day. And people raising their hands, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours where I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you see? Can you stand? I can't. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water to drink? You have food to eat? You have a place to sleep? Family, friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. What's the simple proof? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching this or hearing this, you didn't. You have an obligation now to live life exuberantly, as you'll hear from our amazing guest. And that's the key. So imagine the following. Standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed. That's me. Not an automobile accident. There was not a spinal injury. A rare disease that I never heard of the day before took over my body, and I became overnight a quadriplegic. Nothing on my body moved. Completely, totally paralyzed. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand, but I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I've helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, and all because of one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. I got to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a couple of weeks ago and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? And I thought about it. Smile, why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. How do you like that? Out of the mouth of babes, an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Create is a fabulous word. It's a great acronym. It stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Rethinking, the ability to do neuro-linguistic programming. We determine what it is that we think about, speak about, and do. So create, remember, causing rethinking. Using your brain. Your brain, you have 100 billion brain cells and over 120 trillion synapses connecting all those cells. And they're there for more than deciding what kind of latte you want this morning. The ability to choose what you want to think about, what you want to say, what you want to do. The 6 most important words you'll ever hear and utilize are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Now, I got to warn you in advance that your humble host does use a lot of 4-letter words. And I do it. I even use the 4-letter FU word. I do it purposely for the shock value and because it's fun. Now, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, our 4-letter words are love, life, hope, grow, free, gift, pray, play, swim. 4-letter words. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, yes. F-U, capital N, capital N. Right away, people raise their hands and say, hey, Barry Shore. Fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, when you see your family and your friends, you have a twinkle in your eye and a smile on your face. Remember, that stands for point your finger and say, hey, everybody, F-U. Add capital N right away. I'll say, where'd you get that? What are you talking about? I say, hey, listen to Barry Shore on the joy of living. He wants to teach the world to F you. Capital N. It opens up a whole time of conversation. Say, what is this all about? And you can talk to them about spreading joy, happiness, peace, and love. Now, speaking of that, just before we bring on our guest, and this is going to really shake you. This guy is something special. Before we bring Ori on, I'm going to ask everybody to do the following. Now, we have about 300, now we're over 352,000 people listening, and usually 320, 330 every week, and you bring your friends. Thank you. Well, that's the key. We're going to learn the 2 most powerful words in the English language. I'd like you to learn them and say them consciously and conscientiously 3 times a day for the rest of your life, because these 2 words are the most powerful in the English language. These 2 words are, drum roll, fanfare, da-da, da-da. Thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, and I read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And it's always possible, he says. So let's imagine you'll be able to go to the coffee shop, no mask, COVID's gone, and you walk in, you order your fancy latte for $5, you sit down, somebody brings it to you. You say, thank you. You walk in the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, you sit down, a few minutes goes by, nobody brings it to you. So you go to the counter and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we forgot, we're so busy, we'll bring it to you. You sit down, a couple of minutes go by, somebody brings it, you still say, thank you. You're in the coffee shop and you're walking out of the door and it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you. You say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining and somebody slams the door on you. You say, thank you. You're in your car, you're driving, you're late for an appointment, somebody cuts you off. You say, thank you. You get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. Kind is a great word that stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. And at this point, I can't think of anybody I want to share with you that inspires noble deeds, what he's done and where he's going with his life, than the amazing, wonderful, fabulous Ori Spado. Ori, please say hello to 351,822 people around the world.
Good morning, everybody around the world. How are you today? I hope everybody well, and we are the honored that we all get to live another day. And so let's make this world a better place for everybody. I try to do it every day, and I try to tell people to do it every day. It makes your world much better.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gary.
Let's go and then we're going to break ground here because I'm going to tell you some things about. You look at this fellow and you say, hey, that looks like an interesting guy. Okay, he's even older than Barry, and he wants to talk about good things in life and so like that. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about his background, and then we're going to jump right in because I'm going to shake your world. Ori, or Orlando Spado, is a gangster. Or more correctly, a former gangster. But maybe once you're always a gangster, you're a gangster, because now he was a gangster in not good stuff, served time in prison, and now he's a gangster for goodness. That's what we're going to call you, Ori. You're a gangster for goodness. How do you like that? You see that smile on your face? Hey, by the way, Ori, when was the last time somebody said F you to you and you laughed?
All the time.
Well, I just said F-U, capital N, right?
You know why? I don't let it bother me.
Right. You see, that's
it right there on the spot, like I always do. No big deal.
Yeah. So
you got to have an optimistic outlook on everything you do. Everybody's different. We're not all the same.
But here's what he does. So let me go back and tell you, I'm not kidding around. Whenever people are watching now, sending comments saying, what are you talking about? And I say, yeah, Ori is a gangster. He really is. So we're going to just jump right in.
All right. And talk about, as the U.S. attorney said.
I'm sorry?
With the Colombo crime family of La Cosa Nostra.
Right. So let's talk about, talk about deep stuff. I want to go and ask Ori a question, and then we'll continue the discussion. But when we talk about gangster, what we're doing is not talking about him pulling out a gun and blowing somebody's head off, even though he may have done that. I'm not asking you to tell you the story, but you primarily were involved, you were a fixer in Hollywood. So for those people around the world who have no idea, everybody knows what Hollywood is, they think. But what is a fixer? What did you do? And then we'll talk about you going to prison. But let's start with, keep it focused on what it is. What is a fixer?
Okay, well, as in my book, it says from insurance salesman to Hollywood fixer. How did that happen? What is a Hollywood fixer? Okay. I'm not only a Hollywood fixer, I fix problems all around the world. Okay. But it happened accidentally right over here on Cannon Drive on Dino De Laurentiis' office, where an actor was given a problem on the set to the director, and it was causing the budget to get behind, and they were pulling their hair out. I said, I'll go talk to the guy. And I went to the studio, I talked to the guy, resolved it. And then the word just got out to the agents, lawyers, studio. And I became, a lot of people call me the real Ray Donovan. All right, which if anybody don't, it's a TV show on Showtime. And that's quite, I just have the ability to resolve issues. Like
Okay, but let's look at this, and again, you may be saying it tongue in cheek, you may be saying it straightforward. Remember, if you're working with Costa Nostra and crime families, and and somebody is a fixer, I have to believe that it's not you walk in and say, "Oh, by the way, I would like you to be a little more kind to people on the set." It usually involves what we'll call, for want of a better term, muscle, either physical or psychological, maybe even some money, but
never with a gun did I have.
never with. Okay, this is important, by the way. I want everybody to
Let me
understand.
talk, Barry, and let me explain. Okay.
Yes. By the way, Ori, lean a little bit more into the
I can get
microphone.
more done with my brain than you could with a gun. Or
Well, not me, but I
anybody.
don't use a gun. But yes,
Okay. It's my perception of what I look like, my voice, and my demeanor. And people, it comes through. I don't have to go in there with 500 guys, but somebody knows that there's 500 guys behind me. Okay. So, it's how I present myself, it's how I talk. I don't talk for hours. All right. I get what I got to do. If I can't do it in 15 minutes, I have not done my job. Okay. 15 minutes or less. You see, people talk too much today. Okay. I get to the point and make my explanation. You understand when I'm through. Okay. There ain't no question about it. Okay. And you also will understand with the way that I verbalize things that there could be consequences.
wait a minute. I love, first of all, as he's talking, I want you to look at his facial expressions. So there's two words. Look at it, he's even doing it now. There were two words that you mentioned, and you gave an idea to people. Again, we're talking about a worldwide audience. So not everybody is familiar with America, but everybody is familiar with the idea of, how should we call it, pressure or gangsters. But he used two words: understand and consequences. In other words, once someone truly understands the situation that they're in and who they're working with or could be working against, and the consequences of making a decision to work with or against that particular person and who he represents. Like you said, I got 500 people behind me, but they're not 500 people. It's big consequences in life. Once somebody understands the consequences of their current situation, and Ori comes in and straightens it out. He's like a chiropractor for life. See, chiropractor, you're not feeling so good. Make it smooth. Ori comes in and smooths out the bumps, so he fixes the problem without ever using a nasty thing, like he said, a gun. I mean, that's movies. That's so old-fashioned. But the ability to bring forth in your persona consequences that would be untoward, that would not be beneficial. And as he said something that's really critical, and I'm doing it now, I'm elaborating because even though he said, if you can't get your point across in 15 minutes or less, it's not going to work. And in today's environment, I think you're right, Ori. In today's environment, people speak too much, say too much, and don't say enough. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They use, I'm going to tell you, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. You ready for this? You might laugh. An article in the Wall Street Journal the headline was something like this: crime families finding it hard to recruit millennial gangsters. Why? Because they're looked upon as too soft and too involved with their phones and social media.
That's correct. I get a lot of calls. You got to remember something. I never informed against anybody in my life. All right. In my book, I do not talk bad about anybody unless they were an informant. Okay. Which there are thousands of them nowadays. Okay, I don't bash other people. Okay, but I get calls from the old timers. I still have a lot of respect on the streets and in prisons because a lot call me from prison. Uh, I have very close friends that are doing life in prison. Uh, I let them know I got nothing to do with the life, but they're my friends. I got nothing bad about them. They were good people. People don't understand. We're good people. And we're probably more generous than the majority of the people. We might do things a little bit differently. We live by an honor. We live by codes. Okay. We have our rules. Like them or not, they're our rules. They belong to us. Okay. One of them is no facial hair. Facial hair.
Very
Okay.
good.
All right. And that began with Lucky Luciano when he built a new commission. No more facial hair, because before that, we were referred to as mustache Pete's. Okay, that no longer is. But that happens to be a rule. Okay, most people wouldn't think it is. I have always abided by the rules. I know the rules. I live by the rules. And I live by the rules today. Why? Okay. And that's going to bring me to that, me, AZD, and MOROC put together a training program, MPR, all right, Money, Power, and Respect. I'm changing the name. Respect, honor, and loyalty. Okay?
Let's emphasize that. Let's unpack that for a moment.
I'm going to be 77 years old. I'm still alive. I could have ended up in the trunk of a car, or I could have ended up in prison for the rest of my life. Okay? Why did I did end up in prison, not for the rest of my life though, but because I believe in those and I live my life by respect, honor, and loyalty. I give respect, I earn respect. Okay? Whatever I say, I do. Don't ask people to do anything that I've never done. Okay? And we're going to be teaching this in our class, and anybody who wants information to be able to sign up. We're going to teach the boys today to become men. Not only men, we're going to teach them these things. We're going to teach them how to be a gentleman, how to treat a lady. We're going to teach them so much. It's unbelievable. This is happening December 3rd and 4th. I posted it yesterday, and we got a lot of people signing up. And you know who's most happy about this? Guess who's most happy? And they write me every day.
Who's that?
Is the ladies asking me why there's no more gentlemen.
Thank you. Let's
right. Now for you guys who think you're men because you were born with something that dangled between your legs, that does not make you a man. Okay? If you beat a woman, you're not a man. We're going to teach these young or old how to live their life and how respect, honor, and loyalty.
So let's go back and let's go deep into RHL, respect, honor, and loyalty. Let's go and give a backstory. So here we have Ori Spado. He's born in Rome, New York. In 1944.
Rome, New York.
We went in. He was a regular guy. He went into the army, honorable discharge and such. How does a regular guy become involved with gangsterism?
Well, it's a slow progression. You're groomed. You could be groomed and not even know you're being groomed. And I lost my insurance license on my first federal indictment in Syracuse, New York. Had to make a living. By that time, I'd been meeting a lot of these guys who are in my book. And
by the way, let's drop some names. We're talking about
Meyer Lansky. Okay. All right. Meyer and I used to walk. I walked with his dog in New York City. We had a lot of pleasant talks. Very intelligent guy. nice guy. And when I say all these guys are nice guys, when I say that we do good things that you never see, and we ask for nothing back in return, okay? We make a score, and we got the widow down the street raising a couple kids. She's struggling, can't pay her rent, don't have food on the table. All right, we made a score. We give her a few grand. All right, we don't ask for it back. We don't ask for nothing in return. Okay, that's the kind of people we are. We take care of our own. We take care of a lot of people. All right, and this is what the downfall of the mafia was the movie The Godfather. That's what began it. That there and the WITSEC program. But The Godfather glorified the life. It is not a glorified life, and I don't recommend it for anybody. And these millennials today, they wouldn't last 30 seconds. Not in our old world. Okay? The only way they're going to survive in today's world is they better make a lot of fucking money and be paying a lot of money up the ladder. Okay? Because it's changed so much. It's crazy, and I don't really even like to think about how it's changed.
Good. Let's talk about this because RHL, respect, honor, loyalty. See, Ori just told us he was being groomed. He got involved, and he saw that the people that he was involved with were, from his perspective, again, rules, respectful, honorable, loyal, taking care of other people, obviously involved in what we call crime, because it's you were going against, let's say, federal and state laws. But here's the interesting part for me, and you mentioned it. 50 years ago, yesterday, a movie called The French Connection was made and came out.
Yeah.
Now, The French Connection was one of the most interesting movies that anybody could ever see. By the way, most of the people that are watching us are under the age of 38. They have no idea what we're talking about. But if you have an opportunity to go online or find it, go to The French Connection, because The French Connection was a great movie that was depicting reality. There were drugs, and it wasn't being brought in by Mexican cartels in those days. It was coming in through Marseille, and it was coming in through regular people doing illicit, illegal things and causing a lot of difficulty. Now, that's part and parcel of Cosa Nostra, mafia, et cetera, to be involved with drugs, to be involved with prostitution, to be involved with gaming, gambling, et cetera. But let's look at something interesting you just mentioned. It was about 2 months later that the first Godfather movie came out. And you're right, it changed an entire perception of what it meant to be a gangster. And unfortunately, as you say perfectly, Ori, glorified the life. Because when you get involved in it, it's not a glorified life. Now let's be blunt, you went to prison.
Yeah.
How long did you serve in federal prison?
5 years.
Now, 5 years is not a small amount of time, is it?
No.
And even if it was called Club Fed, it doesn't matter. It was Lompoc.
It was not Club Fed.
Right. It's not so Club Fed. 5 years of time. So Ori now, what he's doing is he's dedicating himself every single day with all of the fiber of his being to say, whatever I did, I want to use that to redeem and help people, especially men, because physically you can be a male, but you're not a man. That's what Ori's getting at. We want to turn people who have been misled by some sort of effeminate culture and make them aware that respect, honor, and loyalty are the foundational principles, the triangle that you can actually build a life on. Because without it, there is no life. It's empty. Am I correct on that, Ori? So I want to do the following. We have, thank God, we have sponsors, all legal, who want to go and tell people about their things. So we'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. There's more Ori Spado on the other side of this. Imagine the kind of place you would want to shop for your favorite fur baby pet. honestpets.co. Well, you found it. Honestpets.co, not .com, .co. This is your go-to spot for the best, the cleanest pet treats that exist anywhere on the planet. All of the brands go through a rigorous review to make sure they meet the high standards of cleanliness, health benefits, and naturalness. This site was started by a husband and wife team, and it's veteran owned, and that care about pets, especially dogs and cats, and coming soon, bird treats. These are very nice young people who really care about making a difference, because a portion of proceeds go to support veteran organizations with a focus on service dogs. This is the place where you want to go. You want to tell your friends this has the finest, yummiest, freshest, all natural treats and stuff for your fur baby. So go there, honestpets.co. honestpets.co. Do it now. Hi, everybody. You know the story of Barry Shore, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, in the evening, completely, totally paralyzed. And I was like that for several years. You can imagine the difficulties I faced mentally, not just physically. And it's the mental aspect that was the most debilitating and the most frightening. And I got to tell you, it wasn't easy to speak to somebody. And I did. I finally did. I spoke to several people over the course of a number of years, and it helped immensely. And I know that it's hard to talk about these things. By the way, did you know that suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States for all ages? About 21 million American adults have a mood disorder, and especially with depression and bipolar, there's an ability to get help. That's the genius of what we're talking about here. There is help available from what's called the dbsalliance.org. I want to tell you a couple other things. Over 47,000 Americans died by suicide in 2019. Over 47,000. And middle-aged white males have the highest rate of suicide, counting for almost 70% of all deaths by suicide. On average, about 130 suicides every day. Every day. I urge you, please get involved for yourself, for a friend, for a family member, for someone you know that may have issues. I want you to go, please, to dbsalliance.org/suicide-prevention. Okay, it sounds like a lot, but I'm going to repeat it again, and you're going to hear it, you're going to see it on the screen. D as in David, B as in Barry, S as in Samuel, Alliance, dbsalliance.org/suicide-prevention, because we can prevent. Please do so now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. And it's a man. His name is Ori Spado. He was a gangster. He is, made man. What is it called? Right. Oh, made man. So we're going to be talking about.
We want to talk about this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about respect, honesty, and loyalty. I'm going to hit you with a zinger here, Ori. You ready?
Yeah.
A couple of questions are on the board. Why should people listen about respect, honesty, and loyalty from a gangster, a guy who spent 5 years in prison?
Why? Because I'm a man, all right, that has taken full responsibility for everything he's done in his life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? I take full responsibility. You'll never hear me blaming somebody else for something that happened to me, okay? Whatever I do, whatever I've done, it's because I did it. Why should you listen to me? Okay? Because I survived it. I lived it. I did it, okay? You're not getting no bullshit here from Ori Spado, okay? You can listen to other guys. They're going to give you bullshit. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? You know, this made man, and the reason I want to tell you, I'm going to become a spokesman for this company. Okay? Maybe they'll become your next advertiser for you. Okay? This is you see my face, folks? I'm going to be 77 years old in 2 months. All right? It's because I take care of myself. I groom myself. I get manicures. I get pedicures. Okay? These are things that real men do. Okay? But this here is a revolutionary new product. And the reason that I enjoyed it, the product is exceptional. But it was developed by a young man, 30 years old. And the reason he and I get along so much is because he says there's no gentleman out there. This kid is a gentleman at the age of 30. All right. His name's Jeremy Gardner. All right. Real nice kid, very intelligent, and a real gentleman at the age of 30. And he's telling me, no gentleman, what can we do? All right. Women have been telling me, what can we do? Well, ladies, it's here now. Okay. You go to my website. I posted it yesterday. I'm going to be posting it again. You go to Los Angeles Tribune. They posted it. Okay. We're going to be teaching these guys how to become men in today's world. We will teach you respect, honor, and loyalty. All right. It's not going to be easy, guy. If you're a pussy, don't come. Okay. But you can go to my website. It's up there. You see it yesterday. I urge anybody to enroll. Okay.
As
And
you mentioned earlier,
and if you mention, okay, this show with Barry Shore, okay, we will give you a 15% discount. That's today. If you mention Barry Shore, you saw it here on the Barry Shore show. And ladies,
this is wonderful.
you got a guy and you've been complaining about it, I strongly urge you, ladies, enroll your boyfriend or your son and get them involved, because this is going to be a one-time thing that I'll be doing with AZD. Okay? You don't want to miss it. You're going to hear from two men who believe in those 3 words, who live it, okay, and live it every single day. Thank you.
This is so fundamentally important in today's environment. And as we said, we have a worldwide audience. And I want to make everybody aware that what Ori is talking about, and I did an interview with AZD. You can see it on LA Tribune, and AZD is sending it out to his worldwide followers and all as well, and Ori will too, that this is not limited to the United States. This is available because of the web to anybody, any male and every female wanting to have more males in the world. We need men. And Ori hit on the issue that I hit him right between the eyes, because it wasn't my question. I've had a lot of questions up on the board. The question is, how do you trust a guy who's a gangster who went to prison? And he says, because I took and take responsibility. See, once you have your foundation of respect, honesty, and loyalty as a triangle, you can build anything. The triangle is the most fundamental building structure in the world. Once you have that, you can build. And the number one issue that faces human beings, especially men, is responsibility. And it means 100% responsibility. It means, as he's already said, no complaining and no blaming. Because when you take responsibility, you literally shift your mindset from becoming a 2-legged being into becoming a man. Now, by the way, shift, Ori, is a wonderful word, but most of the time when people use the word shift, somehow they drop the F in shift. I don't know why they do that. And so if you really know how to live life right, you'll learn that shift happens. Keep the F in the word shift. And we're going to do 3 things right now. I want to, only because people are so interested, Ori, let's go back and dig in. Just, since you're dropping some names, let's just give a little local color to some stuff. So you mentioned Meyer Lansky. Now, most people, again, they're under the age of 38. They have no idea what we're talking about, Meyer Lansky. So I urge people, just Google some of these names. These are people who built empires on gambling and things like that. Matter of fact, Las Vegas itself exists because of people like Ori and people like Meyer Lansky and John Gotti and Frank Costello and Mo Green and the people who came here to Las Vegas, let's say in the 50s and 60s, and saw an opportunity to give people really what they want, which is the ability to play in a fairly fair environment. In other words, gambling by itself, okay, people like to do it. If it's rigged, it's no good. But if it's open and the casinos understand that they have the advantage, just a slight one, the advantage of the casinos is 1 or 2%. That's all. But when you're dealing in billions of dollars, you only need 1 or 2%, right, Ori?
That's
And
right.
that's why Meyer Lansky was able to use his noggin, what we call a Jewish cup, to be able to figure out things. And you got muscle like John Gotti and Frank Costello. Tell us just one small story about either John Gotti or Frank Costello that's sort of interesting.
Well, let me talk about Frank Costello and some of the older guys in the life, okay, that I met. Okay, let's talk about Frank Costello. One thing that you learn when you're a young man and you're in the company of these gentlemen like Frank Costello, Russell Buffalino, Carlo Marcello, you don't talk until spoken to. Okay, you sit there and listen. Okay. I was there with another gentleman older than me, had a meeting with Frank, introduced me. I sat there, I'm looking all around it, Waldorf Astoria. I'm looking at all the girls. And Frank came over and he put his hand on my shoulder. And he says, young man, and I was told to call him Uncle Frank too, by the way. He says, always be a gentleman. And if you notice anything about us old timers, we were always dressed. We had a suit and a tie on, okay? Russell Buffalino, I had lunch with him at DeMarco's in New York. A gentleman, dressed, classy. Carlo Marcello, I tried selling him my insurance agency. I flew down to New Orleans and met with him. A gentleman. Meyer Lansky, okay? You know what Meyer Lansky and I, conversations we had? We were talking about Brandeis University, United Jewish Appeal. Why? Because when I was big and I had a business in those days, I was doing over 400,000 a month. In today's world, that's $1.5 million a month. I was donating money, and I'm not talking $10. Okay, I'm talking serious money to Brandeis University and the United Jewish Appeal. I went to all their dinners at the New York Hilton in New York, and those are the kind of things we discussed. Meyer stayed at the Warwick Hotel just as I did. He just happened to have the suite above me. And he always had his little dog with him, and I walked with him every evening. We had a lot of conversation about a lot of different things. All right, he's a very intelligent man. And like I say about all of us guys, one of the nicest guys in the world you'd ever meet. Do we have the ability to do bad things? Do we have the ability to order others to do things? Yes, we do. But it's not an everyday thing that we're doing bad things. Okay, we're like everybody else. We got to make money. Okay, we survive. We want to be happy. We want to have a good time. And we do things for other people. So if we can do it, I could do it as a gangster. Why can't you do it? It's the same thing. There ain't no difference, folks.
So
If
this
you
is
read my
the
book,
genius.
if you
This
read
is
my
what
book,
Ori.
The Accidental Gangster, and you go into the epilogue, which is at the end of the book, okay, I say something in there. I ask for everybody to reach out Join hands. Let's all join hands together. And together we can make this world a better place. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or anything on Twitter, okay, you'll hear me saying that all the time. You'll hear me say, begin your day by doing something nice for everybody else. Make somebody happy. You can do it because together we all can do it. We live in a divided world today. I never seen it like this in my lifetime.
Wait a minute. This is very important what you're talking about, Ori. So you're saying that from your perspective, today's environment is less friendly, more in need of help than any time in the past decades of your life.
Absolutely. And what's the ruination of it? Okay. What's ruination? All right. These things, folks. You see this? You give them to your children. All right. You give computers to your children, but you don't give your children your time. Okay. I'm on Clubhouse. I see so many bullshit rooms about trying people paying coaches. All right. In my day, coaches were somebody who was coach a football team, a baseball team. Okay. No, today, coaches. Anybody out of work is calling themselves a coach and they're selling these fucking books. All right. How they're going to help you get a mindset. Your mindset is you have it by the age of 4. If you don't have it by then, you're never going to get it because you learn from your parents, your siblings, other people around you, your grandparents, okay? People in the neighborhood. That's where a child learns, all right? If you don't have it now, you're never going to get it. And I'm telling you the truth, okay? You're wasting your money giving it to all these fucking assholes, okay? They call themselves coaches. They never worked a day in their life. I've been working since I was 11 years old.
And let's talk again about these 3 fundamentals, because then I'm going to talk to you about dog poop. Ori, I'm going to talk to you about dog poop in a moment. Ready?
Yeah.
But let's talk about the 3 fundamentals, everybody. This is why you're listening to The Joy of Living, because you care the most in the whole world about you. Ori said the 3 fundamentals that he and AZD and Mo are going to be promoting and going to help people. He's dedicating the last decades, and hopefully there'll be many more, Ori, of his life to showing people what we call redemption. The 3 fundamentals are respect, honesty, loyalty. When you can give respect, you will be able to have respect. When you are honest, you will receive it in kind. And when you are loyal, you will receive it in kind. If you want to be respected and be honest and be loyal, be that yourself. We call that dog poop, Ori. You want to hear what dog poop stands for? Dog poop is a great acronym that stands for doing of good, power of one person.
Very good.
Dog poop. Whenever you see dog poop now, think Meyer Lansky, you're walking your dog, the dog poop. Whenever you walk dog poop, or you think of it saying, Barry Shaw said, doing of good, power of one person. Ori Spado. One person has decided he wants to do redemption in his life, and he is giving over every ounce of his energy to bring more people to recognize that accepting responsibility can turn you into a man. And when you're a man, you will help women be ladies. And together, one hand reaching out to another, dog poop. Never think that you're not just anybody in the world. You are the key to making life successful. Am I right, Ori?
You're absolutely 100% correct.
And I tell you, F you, Ori Spado, capital N, because we're having fun, aren't we? I mean, This is what's really happening here, is that you're hearing from the life of a man who went through, for want of a better term, turbulent times. He needed to make a living. He got involved with what people call crime, but he found out that the people who were criminals were not degenerates, lowlifes. They were people who understood that when you dress well and you speak well and you are respectable, respected, honest, and to someone else, and loyal to those people who abide by the rules, no facial hair, or in my world, facial hair. That's one of our rules. We like facial hair and we like covering the head. But the point is that you respect the rules. Guess what happens? You can graduate from becoming just a two-legged being into becoming a doer of good, a power of one. You can be dog poop. And when you do that, you make the world a better place. We have a joy deficit in the world today. Would you agree to that, Ori?
Yeah.
And together we can create a joy surplus. And you don't need trillions of dollars. That is the dumb way to do things. We want to do things the smart way. The smart way is listening to Ori Spado. He was called the fixer in Hollywood because he fixed problems. You know what he's doing now? He's fixing problems. He is still the fixer.
That's right.
He's doing it because he's taking all of his energies, all of the things that he's learned, everything through crime, prison, and such like that, and he's using that as a springboard to envelop people in the goodness of life. And that's what he dedicates his life to. I say to you, wonderful Ori, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to put you on the spot, kid. You only got a couple of minutes to answer this question. You ready?
Ready.
What is your most fervent desire?
I like to see more people communicating. And now let me explain why. Okay. There is no communication in this world today. People are glued to their cell phones. Okay. You go out in restaurants, you see a guy on a date with his girl, and they're both sitting there on their telephones. I take early morning walks. I'm walking through Beverly Hills. Everybody's on their phone. If I was still scamming like I did in the old days, I'd be pickpocketing everybody because I could take their wallets and they wouldn't know it. Okay?
Wait a minute. That was such a beautiful vision. I see Ori saying that. I'm not going to do it anymore. But if I was still in that business, these people are fish. They're so dumb.
They're marks. They're marks. They set them up. Okay? That's what we call a mark. Okay?
So
It's
his
so
most
goddamn easy.
desire,
All right?
he wants people to be involved with the big C.
Yeah, guys are asking me, why can't they get a girlfriend? Well, you're not going to get a girlfriend on your damn phone, okay? You're probably going to get a picture of somebody that you think is somebody and not be who you think it is, okay? Wake up to reality, folks. This is reality. We live in a real world, and it's us who can make this better. All right. I hear people talking about, oh, I got this big business deal. I emailed so-and-so with so-and-so company. I go, yeah, great. Okay. Let me know what year he gets back to you on that email. Because they're not going to call you back. You don't do business unless you meet with somebody. You look in their eyes. Okay, their eyes. Look at how they do their hands. Okay. That's when you start doing business, communicating. All right, morons, wake up. Okay, you computer geeks out there think you know everything? Yeah, you know about algorithms and all that bullshit, but you don't know how to live your life.
Okay, wait a minute. On that word, life, by the way, Ori, is a great acronym that stands for living inspirationally for eternity. And that's what Ori wants to do. He wants to take his physical being and bring it to the world and teach males to be men. He's going to really enable them through respect, honesty, and loyalty, working with AZD and Morock, and bring this to the world. We applaud you. Wonderful, Ori. So I'm going to ask you two quick questions.
Go to MPR2.
Well, it's all going to be on the website.
2021.com.
Right. Just go to barryshore.com. All the information about Ori and Mo and AZD is there. But I'm going to do two things.
My book is available throughout the world.
Everything. So here's the big thing. You ready? I'm going to ask you two quick questions. You ready? Uh-oh, the police are after him again. Oh,
No,
my
that's the fire
gosh.
engine. That's the fire engine.
Ori, 2 quick questions. Number 1, will you come back again?
Yes, I absolutely will,
Okay. Number
Barry.
2, can I give you a hug in front of 355,000 people?
Go ahead, buddy. Go
I
ahead.
got to tell you what HUG stands for. HUG
All right.
stands for Heartfelt Unlimited Giving. That's who you are. Heartfelt Unlimited Giving. You ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You're listening to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore. You tuned in for one reason only, because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U. And that's great, because when you're the best you, as Ori says, you're going to become the best you through respect, honesty, and loyalty. You make the world a better place. You build bridges, create more harmony, and you will like dog poop. Doing of good, the power of one person. Yes, you can do it when you live with the 3 fundamentals of life. Life has purpose. Your life has purpose. Number 2, go mad. Make a difference, just like Ori's doing. He's using his life now to make a difference. He's a madman. And number 3 is uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms like WWW. What a wonderful world. And smile. Seeing miracles in life every day, or as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. This is what Ori did with his life. He rethought everything he did. He says, I'm making a change. I'm out here to do redemption for helping people. We need more men, and men become men. We have more women become ladies. We can help shift the world. When you say the word shift, remember to emphasize the F. Otherwise, you have a different word, right? Shift happens. And when you do that, you'll understand that you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that, right? Happy, healthy, and wealthier. I guarantee it, or your money back. And use 4-letter words: love, life, hope, grow, free, play, pray, swim. And tell the world to F you. F you, capital N, capital N. You got to add that capital N right away. People say, where'd you get that? I said, I listened to The Joy of Living with Barry Shore. He had on Ori Spado, a gangster who is helping the world become a better place through communication. And so we ask you all, please use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously from now for the rest of your life. And these 2 words are, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness, like Ori is doing now. He's using all of his life, all of his energy, all of his money, all of his time to channel kindness in the world. Keep inspiring noble deeds. Wonderful, Ori. Keep inspiring noble deeds with you, with AZD, with MoRock, building the organization that you want to touch people and raise up one man after another, after another, after another, as you said, and we can make a difference in the world because you're a madman. And on that wonderful note, we wish everybody to go for, here's our blessing from Ori and Barry. Our blessing is, go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.